Let's see what this one's all about.
Of my gaming career, I've had a controller in my hand since I was 4. I actively and intentionally avoided isometric games.
That was the start of it. That was the fucking start of all of this. The start of the addiction is right here. Right here. A fucking Diablo.
It took me a really long time to put this into words adequate enough to
PlayStation 1
articulate my
Diablo.
internal dialogue without sounding like a superficial fucking snob. But let me explain. The earliest memories I have.
Anybody else? So there was Diablo. But anybody else played the Gauntlet Legends? Gauntlet Legends was another one that I played the Lord fucking shit out of on my PlayStation 2. Was it PS2 or
on the PlayStation?
Fuck, that's loud. PS2 or PS1? One of the two.
Gaming is as core to my identity as one's ethnicity or religion might be core to theirs. There is no me, there is no CJ without video games, so consequently my history with them is extensive. I've played.
They literally just put Destiny 1 on there.
There is no CJ
What do we
without
got?
video games, so consequently my
What do we
history
got?
with them is
GameCube. Fallout New Vegas. Was that fucking DCU?
consequently my history with them
Was
is
that DC Universe? Holy shit. Destiny 1.
extensive.
Skyrim.
I've played everything from MMOs to RPGs to survival games to shooting games to detective games to fighting games to racing games to sports games to open world games to gacha games. I grew up at the same time the
Gacha
industry
games.
was in its renaissance, so I was exposed to everything when it was new.
Oh, Lord. I remember getting one of these. Shoveling driveways and going down to the pawn shop to buy my first Xbox.
But alongside my storied relationship with games, there's a truth I had to admit to myself eventually when realizing the amount of games I haven't played.
Attention. Attention in the count of 5.
This video says why I never played ARPGs until Path of Exile.
Count of 4. 3.
I am very particular
1. Attention. Attention.
about how a game
5,000 feet.
It's super loud in my fucking ears, so I have to turn it down.
15,000 feet.
looks.
Is it loud in your guys' ears?
So you only care about graphics? I mean, yeah and no. I don't just care about graphics. I care about presentation.
Yeah.
Games to me are not just recreational products to pass time with. They represent to me pinnacle examples of human innovation. They give us a glimpse into the symbiosis of our species.
Our American way of
That's some deep shit, man. That's deep.
life. Isn't it grand? Peace, freedom, and bacon and eggs.
It is one of the few new things humanity has ever invented.
Fallout?
So my ability to enjoy
Played
them
the
is
shit.
not just on the basis.
I played the shit out of Fallout 3. I remember waiting in line, me and my cousin, midnight release, GameStop, Fallout 3. Super fun. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, another one.
Of graphics or gameplay or story or soundtracks, but the synergistic ecosystem in which
Now we don't have that. We just fucking, I just buy digital. Like, fuck going to buy games.
all these elements are a cohesive force in. A
Moved
game
on to
can
the
be mechanically fluent, and the play scheme can be innovative.
console, the
But one of the
PC,
most
and
important
then just never
innovations of
look
any
back,
game,
and
one of the most
everything's
important
digital
elements of
anyways, so
presentation period
fuck having a
is
CD.
design. And for someone like me, especially
For
in
some
the arena of
physical
AAA,
copy.
the strongest attractor for me is the way a game's mechanical progression is filtered through the lens of presentation. The way a game looks and the way a game feels is a part of its design. And with a landscape that exposed me to mechanically fluent, visually enrapturing, literal genre-defining entries that to this day are the face of gaming, I wouldn't say I was cultured or that I was a snob. I played games like Castle Crashers, Stick Arena, Madness Interactive.
Who
with the same
didn't play
fervor as
Castle
Mass Effect,
Crashers?
but
Come on now.
rather, I would say I was
Post in the comments if you
predisposed
actually
to
didn't
what
play
I
Castle
felt
Crashers.
were pinnacle gaming experiences. AAA
Castle
development in
Crashers.
the 2000s and 2010s wasn't a menagerie of broken promises and half-baked and shitified franchises and games like today. We're talking about a time where in the same year or two, BioWare, Ubisoft, FromSoft, Rockstar, Bungie, Bethesda, Gearbox, Activision, Epic Games, Obsidian Studios, LucasArts, Neversoft, Naughty Dog, Valve, and Rocksteady were all dropping their best entries at the same time. I
Yeah.
love the visceral feedback of good shooters that grips me, like Battlefield, Killzone, Call of Duty, or Halo. The weighted
Killzone.
combat of a
Remember
brawler
Killzone?
like Arkham or God of War, the fully realized and fleshed out worlds of games like Elder Scrolls or Fallout. And a sea of highly interactive, highly innovative, highly curated landmark titles that defined the
It seemed like
industry for
back then, though.
decades. Could you imagine?
Seemed like back then Bethesda was only competing with Bethesda, and I feel like that has gotten to their head slightly.
Imagine how it felt at the time being a child and seeing a game like Diablo 3.
Hey, this was good shit back then, man.
Next to a game like Mass Effect 3, or Borderlands 2, or Mirror's Edge, or Call of Duty Black Ops 2, or Dishonored, or fucking Skyrim. As a matter of fact, my first instinct was to question the legitimacy of this game because to me, isometric games were a consequence of hardware and software limitations. I associated the style with old analog entries from more primitive eras like Fallout 1 and 2. It was underwhelming to me. Which in hindsight was pathetic, not to be too harsh to myself, because if I had just opened my mind up that much more, I would have realized everything in the games I already enjoy is in abundance in ARPGs. And I know this because one of the genres I have the most extensive history with in general is looter shooters. Borderlands 1 released in October 2009. I was 11 years
Great
old
game.
when this game dropped, and it rewired
He was
my
11 years
neurological
old when this game
pathways with how
dropped.
deeply
I was
influential it
graduating
And it
high school
connected me
when
to
this
an
game
echelon
dropped.
of games I honestly beforehand wasn't even aware existed. I had history prior with games like Fallout, and I was well versed with games being mechanically demanding after growing up as a child playing Gears of War 2 online and ranked and actually placing in high lobbies. But to an 11-year-old CJ, the sophistication of a game like Borderlands eluded me entirely. This is because in all the games I played previously, never has there been as much opportunity for entirely new outcomes in my gameplay than there was in engaging with the gameplay loop of Borderlands. And Borderlands is one of the progenitors of all looter shooters we know today. So I was yet again a live witness to the development of an entire staple genre of gaming. And then I realized as I was making this video that Hellgate London, the game 2 years before Borderlands, is literally the very first looter shooter ever made. And its origins are from lead Diablo 2 developers who defected from Blizzard North to make their own IP to invent that genre of game.
The original concept for Hellgate was pretty much our first idea the day we left Blizzard, as David Brevik threw out the idea of doing a first-person shooter meets action RPG, and we just took it from there.
And I had already realized it before, but when I exhumed that information, I concluded immediately after that the genre ARPGs itself has proliferated all of the core tenets of what I consider to be an addicting game throughout all addicting games I've ever played. Games like Destiny, The Division, Borderlands, Remnant, Fallout, Skyrim,
Remnant was so good.
Risk of Rain, Warframe, Souls-likes,
Warframe,
roguelikes,
really good.
open world
Warframe's super
RPGs,
good.
and
I love
MMO
Warframe.
RPGs all carry the mechanical / gameplay elements most ARPGs do. Skills / perk trees, loot
Borderlands,
system,
of course.
bosses, mapping through an in-game.
Destiny
after
was fun.
leveling through
Destiny's a great
campaign,
game.
Side quests, tiered loot / loot rarity, unique items, stat rolls, class systems, etc. And all of these games are games I've dedicated an inordinate amount of playtime to throughout my entire life. This is not coincidental. This is me retroactively realizing after touching an actual ARPG that I've been walking in the shadow of his innovation through a market targeted to Zoomers. I'm a fool, and Path of Exile 2 humbled me. My journey to this game wasn't even a direct path. I was guided along
didn't even
it
play PoE
vicariously
1.
due to the interest a friend of mine already had. My friend
Played
Skadushi was
PoE 2.
already an avid PoE 1 player and has been the entire time I've known him. He's recommended me the game multiple times in the past couple of years, but there was just one serious issue. Path of Exile 1 is crusty as shit, and with an extensive background of games that
The
reward
problem
me
I
for my
find
reflexes,
with
it's click.
it's not crusty and it's not clunky. The problem with PoE 1 is the years and 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 years of bloat into the game that you got to learn. That's the problem.
The move controls were about as intuitive as me driving a fucking forklift. So I gave it an honest try of 22 minutes before I quickly said, no, I'm good, no thank you, and once again dismissed the genre entirely.
Oh, fuck.
And then, 2 years later, Skadushi comes to me with some news about a new ARPG he's been looking at that's going into open access beta. Path of Exile 2. He had mentioned before that this game was coming out, but I hadn't really seen much about it because not much about it was even shown to be seen. But then Grinding Gear Games, the developer, released a game trailer with a faction I've never seen before. The Vow.
Existence
Such
is
a
thing of
great
beauty,
fucking trailer.
precious, but impermanent. Life and death are mortal enemies, and yet bound to one another.
The fucking Vow.
continuation of life must be protected.
Their life was just to
at
serve
all
at Siri and
costs.
sacrifice their own life.
Some have said my methods are brutal. To this, I say, there can be no salvation without sacrifice.
These visuals are not just breathtaking. They're literally inspiring, as they inspired me to take a second look at the franchise. The dark fantasy elements alone reminded me of the works of masterful artists of the previous century, like the paintings of Gerald Brom or the more macabre works of Wayne Barlow. The scientifically advanced and ritualistically malevolent architecture of the Val reminded me of the work of H.R. Geiger with his almost surrealist visuals with the technology of his worlds. And then, as I did research for this video, I came across another discovery that Gerald Brom worked on the art for Diablo 2, one of the direct inspirations for Path of Exile. And
Diablo 2 is
realized
so
that
good.
what I was looking at is not
Best
derivative,
game in the
it's
franchise.
innovative of the actual
The whole
artist
Diablo
it takes
franchise,
inspiration
best one is
from,
Diablo
which is
2.
the best sign you could hope for
Best
when
one.
it comes to a symbiosis of art forms like video games. This studio earned my interest, and their art made me look further. And then I saw gameplay.
This is how you know how good PoE 1 or PoE 2 is. PoE 2 doesn't get compared to Diablo, it doesn't get compared to Last Epoch, doesn't get compared to any of it. PoE 2 gets compared to PoE 1. And the only reason why it gets compared to PoE 1 is because PoE 1 has so much fucking bloat and endgame shit into it from fucking years and years of development. Everyone goes, PoE 2's lacking. Oh, it's lacking. Oh, it's lacking because it doesn't have the years and years of fucking development that PoE 1 has. Fucking relax, it'll come. PoE 2 is great as it is, but it only gets compared to PoE 1. That's all it does. It doesn't get compared to anything else. It's like back in the day, they used to be like, oh, this game is like, they used to compare PoE 1 to Diablo 2 and all this shit. No one compares nothing to Diablo anymore. Diablo who? The game's fucking garbage. The game's dead. That franchise is gone because they're so disingenuous with their fucking people that work there. But anyways, Path of Exile 2, its only comparison is PoE 1. I think Path of Exile 2 is better in my opinion. In my opinion, I think it's way better.
This gameplay is not striking. This gameplay is unreal. It is visually and mechanically on a level I have simply not seen before.
You guys see
Real.
that?
This gameplay is not striking. This
that on
gameplay
purpose?
is unreal. It is visually and mechanically on a level I have simply not seen before in the genre, or really any
They have
RPG
bad
I've ever
fucking-
played. I was
stuff
already
like that.
sold on the game. But then Skadushi tells me that in PoE 2, for the first time in the ARPG genre, movement can be dictated with WASD.
In Path of
D,
Exile
baby.
2, we now support WASD movement. You can now walk around in any direction
This got me
independent of
hooked.
aiming.
This got me hooked on Merc. This gameplay of them showing off Merc. This is what got me solely hooked on Merc. And the reason why I've played Merc every fucking time. I know the last 2 times I haven't really like dabbled hard on Merc. I've done Witch, but still Merc. Oh, Merc is so good.
In fact, if this is your preferred method of gameplay, you
It
can use
literally
it on
feels
any
like a
class.
top-down, third-person shooter when you're playing Merc. That's how it feels. It fucking feels so good.
regardless of what weapon type you're using. You can change between click to move or WASD at any time.
All right.
So good.
You got me. I'm playing PoE 2. Part 2 is coming soon. Volume, ladies and gentlemen, volume. I need that.
That was part 1.
I'm trying to see if this channel can grow faster.
All right. That was a good video. I'm going to throw a like and comment, subscribe. If you like this video, please go fucking give it a like. That was great. That was a great video. All right. Yeah. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.